What is going on, guys? Welcome to Powell Music. Be sure to like, subscribe here on the channel, hit that notification bell so you know when these episodes are available, and the like button so the video can move around YouTube as we all want to do as YouTubers. And today we are reviewing, or I'm discussing a review of Magic 2, Nas's album that just kind of came among us, where we found more information about it last week. So hey, it's dropping on, the 21st, and it did drop. And in my opinion, I think this could have waited. I feel like this album sounds uninspired, sounds a little rushed, beats sound a little old. And I don't blame Nas for this. I I think Nas performed very well. He did a good job. I think he has some good hooks. His rhymes were good. But it seems like he was just kind of working with what he had. And what he had, I don't think he had a whole lot. This was kind of one of my least Hit Boy projects. Actually, I would say probably it is my least favorite Hit Boy song, album that he collaborated with Nas on. So, I mean, just to kind of compare, right, as far as for, even just from the first Magic, from Magic 1, right, I am still on the hill as far as, Magic is good. I don't think it's as good as King Disease 2 or 3, but Magic did have a place. Came out, when it came out, I think people were like, oh, snap, there's another one coming out this year. And it did have its own type of style, and its own type of, it was a different theme than the King Disease projects, which is great. Right. And the first song of Magic 1, Speechless, I thought was a great way to kind of introduce, like, hey, this is a new world, different type of time, different type of vibe we're on here. And again, inspired, right? And it's just had some really good tracks. Meet Joe Black, Wave Gods, like some really good stuff on there. Now you get the Magic 2, and I feel like it was kind of like an old, I feel like it was kind of like a rollout where it's like, look, we need to put something out. We need to put something out because we kind of started a little bit of, pre-pro or just marketing for this. For example, you got One Mic, One Gun, the 20 Savage song. And that single came out a long time ago. You know what I mean? I feel like that was kind of like a red flag in itself. Sorry. Planes flying over my head, or not a plane, I don't know, copper, what have you. So I mean, I feel like when it comes to One Mic, One Gun, that song is kind of old at this point. It came out, I want to say it must have been earlier. It was sometime last year, I think, to be honest. I think it was either earlier this year or sometime last year that they were kind of promoting that. That song, it must have been earlier this year, I guess. But my point is that older song kind of thrown in here. So it was like, okay, whatever. And I feel like that was kind of maybe a little bit of foreshadowing as far as how this overall project was going to come out. These beats sound old. I'm going to be honest. I think they sound pretty good. They sound a little old to me. I feel like these are beats that Hit Boys had in the stash. Maybe added some different stuff to it, but I just don't know if it aged well from when the beats were created, and then if it fit with what Nas, with the energy of stars, just like Nas rapping over it. Again, I don't blame Nas for this. I kind of more so blame Hit Boy and or whoever kind of forced them to put this out. I feel like it wasn't ready. It was a very undercooked project. Abracadabra, the song's fine. It's not a great song. Again, very underwhelming to start the album. Office Hours, it's a good track. I enjoyed hearing 50 Cent again on recording. I thought it would have been nice to give him more of a good amount of time, more time to have another verse, because he kind of had like half of a verse, and then he had a hook, and then he was just kind of doing the hype man thing, which is cool, right? It's cool, representing Queensbridge, but it's just, this guy's, this is 50 Cent we're talking about, so give him another verse, give him another verse to rap on or whatever. But obviously it could also depend on what he wanted to do on the feature, so I guess that's something else to consider as well. Overall, I thought it could have been a little bit longer, and just a little, just as far as the song to be kind of complete in a sense. But yeah, a lot of these songs, I just kind of feel like they're throwaways to me. Black Magic, did not care about. Motion, I think, was pretty good. Bokeem Mumbai, pretty good. Irving Magic Johnson might be my favorite song on here. I think that was a really solid song. That might be my favorite. And I think Nas's hooks are very good too. But there's just a sense of it feeling uninspired. And I don't know if it was because Hit Boy, he's had a few other projects that he's worked on, right? He worked with Music Soul Child. He's worked with a few other artists as well. Obviously, he worked with Big Sean. So yeah, I don't know if he dedicated maybe enough time to this project for Magic 2. I just feel like these are old beats. I feel like Magic 2 is kind of like Cole's off season. That might spark some controversy there, but I will say for my argument, off season literally was older beats. I think that was actually confirmed. I would arguably say off season is a better project than Magic 2, but again, different types of sounds, what have you, regardless of it, you know, both being hip hop albums. So yeah, that is kind of my review on this project, Magic 2. Again, not a terrible album, but comparison to Magic 2, comparison to King Disease 1 and 2 and 3, this kind of sits at the bottom for me. It just seems very uninspired, you know. I think King Disease 3, it's just, yeah, I stand on that hill. I was gonna say maybe King Disease 3 had a kind of a similar thing as far as how it started. It wasn't a very inspirational start, and then you really didn't feel the inspiration throughout the album. I think King Disease 3 started slightly rocky, but it had a lot of really good tracks that kind of made up for it. King Disease 2, I thought definitely had an inspiration, definitely seemed like a chapter 2. I love the intro, the beginning for King Disease 1. It has some great tracks on it, Cardi 5, you know, the list goes on. But yeah, that is my review. Again, if you have comments, if you have thoughts around this album, let me know. Put them in the comments and all that stuff. We'll have a conversation about it. J Powell Music. I'll catch you guys next video. Thanks a lot.